What have you done specifically in using specific promotions and financing in order to generate leads and make more sales in your business?
The leads, a lot of times we'll run something, an ad on the promotions that do come up with the Bryant. But most of it really is just keeping in contact with our existing customer base. So many years went by where we just did the jobs and we never really kept in contact with them. So now we hired an inside salesperson, and he just does nothing but contacts our customers all day long and talks to them about our company and what we do. But setting the leads is so important. That's something we did not do. And setting the leads is crucial to get that right person, because another thing you show is the third, and the third.
Yeah.
Well, I never really believed that. Even when you said it, it had to be proven to me. And the only way it was proven to me is when we started tracking the leads. I did think that was one of those things that, no, he's wrong on that. Right on,
What's up with that, Tim?
But the third, and now when we track our leads, like Joe, if he's in that 60% range, I know he's getting all the people he's supposed to get.
Right.
Which is really nice for me, because you may think 60% is a failure, but when you understand that third, and third.
Right.
And I was talking to Doug, some of the salesmen out there selling, if they're the third, that's the bad third.
Yeah.
And they're a salesman, they probably shouldn't be a salesman.
If you take the market, and this is the market in total, you have basically, you can divide it up into third, right? You've got your value-based guy here, right? You've got your cheap guy here, and I'll talk about these guys in a second, but you've got your value-based. These are people, now not necessarily rich people, but they value quality. They value service. They want to know everything that's involved. They're willing to pay $500 or $1,000 more to have something done right. Over here, you got the cheap guy. Cheap guy doesn't care about nothing but price, right? Cheap price, cheap price, cheap price. And what happens is sometimes we end up trying to accommodate this guy so much that we end up alienating this guy. Because just like the cheap guy is going to eliminate the high bid, the value-based guy automatically will eliminate the low bid. And so if we end up trying to get this guy, and this guy thinks we're the cheap company, we may get this guy, but we'll actually alienate this guy. And then, of course, this third right here, this is the group we say can go either way, right? Sometimes they go high end, sometimes they go cheap. It just depends on the product or service. This guy right here is always buying the nice cars, the nice shoes, the nice jeans. This person right here is always buying everything cheap. This person here, sometimes cheap, sometimes value. I say this person might drive their BMW or their Mercedes-Benz to Walmart because the car is important to them, but the shoes are not. The key is that you got to situate your business, like Tim's talking about, for this third right here. And then this third right here, you have to devote your time to demonstrating to them why it's important to go with value. This heating and air conditioning system is one of those times they need to go high end, right? So if you get half of that third, right, and you get this third, what do you have? You have half the pie. And you got the big, nice, fat, high margin part of the pie. The best part is, as Tim's saying, as you get really good at the sales process, you start getting even more of these, right? So now all of a sudden you've got 60% of the pie, and you've got the 60% of the pie that are buying the higher end systems, 8, 10, 12, 16,000, something like that, and that's where you really grow your company. But the key is you have to design your strategy to target that value and to convince the bottom half that it's worth making that decision. When you're going out and you're dropping off bids, listen, if the homeowner gets 3 bids, they're going to choose one of those, right? So that means you've got a 1 in 3 chance of being that guy if you're dropping off bids. But you also only have a 1 in 3 chance of getting that if you're the middle guy, the low guy. Because the value-based guy automatically, what everybody understands, everybody readily admits. I hear guys all the time, we lose deals to cheap competitors. We're always losing deals to cheap competitors. Well, that's true. But what you may not be willing to recognize, and this is one of the excuses and justifications that have to be dealt with if we're going to be successful, you may not be willing to admit that you're losing tons of jobs to a guy who's $1,000 more than you. And that's the real heartbreaking thing. I don't mind losing the job to the cheap guy, but I guarantee you everyone watching us today is out there and they're losing business to a guy who's charging $500, $1,000 more. Why? Because we went in, we allowed our guys to go in, to drop off a bid and move on, and then the only way you're going to get that job is if you get a call back because you're cheap. The bottom line is you are losing business to competitors who are charging more than you, and you have to take a good hard look at yourself. You have to be just painfully honest about your sales process and the way you're running your business. If you're losing jobs to cheap competitors, that's one thing. But I promise you, everyone out there from time to time is losing jobs to higher end competitors.